This video is going to go over the excuse me, PowerPoint introduction quiz. As if you were one of my students, go on to the announcements and you will see all the questions that will be reviewed. While I'm doing this demonstration, the things I'm pointing out to you are not in the exact order that you're going to see them on the quiz, but most of what I'm showing you is on the quiz. The other things I'm showing you just because it's going to be important to know whether it's for this quiz or next quiz. So we're going to start off with, I've created just a blank slide. And you'll notice that when I did that, it started off in this title layout. And I know it's a title layout because if I go into layout, it sees that I have the default for a new PowerPoint document is the title slide. And you'll notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possible layouts that are available when you first click into PowerPoint. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this the title, PowerPoint Introduction Quiz Review for Key Concepts. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and create a new slide, and I can go up here and I can create a new type of slide. So if I just create a new slide, I'm going to click on New Slide up here, and you'll see it gives me title and content automatically. However, if I want to add a different type of slide, I can click on New, and I can choose from any one of these. I can do blank, title only. So let's say I want to do to content. So now I have a to content. So this is title and content. This is and to content. Now if I add a new slide from here, you'll see it's also titled and to content. So it takes on the properties of the previous slide. Alright, I'm going to go here under title and content. Now there's a lot of things that you can do from this. Microsoft tries to make it easy for you by setting up lots of templates that are available, and within PowerPoint, because it's important on how things are lined up and the consistency within presentations, they have this little placement marker here. You can either click here to add text, or I can insert a table, insert a chart, insert SmartArt graphic, I can insert a picture, online picture, or even insert a video. So for this first one, I'm going to look at inserting a table. And the number of columns, I'll go ahead and leave it 5. Number of rows, I'll do it 5 as well. And I'll go ahead and do OK. And that opens up my table style contextual menu. If I click on this little arrow with the line over top of it, you can open up the gallery of the available table styles. If I scroll down, you see there are several that are available. Just for simplicity, I'm just going to go with this one. Actually, let me go a little bit lighter. I'll go with this one because it's nice and light. Now my column headers are still here, but they're just blank because I have not put anything in here yet. So I'm going to call this CH1, CH2, CH3, CH4, CH5. Oops, 5. Now, let's go ahead and set up this table. Let's say if I'm looking at prices of computer parts, for example, we can do, say, a monitor. keyboard. No, let's do the internal parts. Let's do 1 terabit hard drive. We'll do 16 gig of RAM. Just do a basic video card, and then the tower itself. So these are the items. So I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to put a title here. So the first one would be, let's say if I pulled the prices from Amazon. Then I can arrow over, and let's say I looked at Best Buy. And then I'm not even sure if these guys are even still in business. And then I'll just do other. 1 terabit, so let's just say this was $120. This was $25 for 8 gig stick. It's actually 50. Video card, let's say, was $100, and a tower, let's say, was $35. And that doesn't count in the motherboard. And then I can go through and add the prices for here, which I'm not going to do right now. I'm going to go into Home, and I want to add a design theme to my presentation. So I'll just go ahead and do something very simple. So this is going to be title and content table. Now I'm going to open up a new PowerPoint. So File, it's going to take you to Backstage View, New, and you'll see that New takes you to opening up a new PowerPoint, and you can select from one of these. So I'm going to click on Blank Presentation, and I'm going to just do a new slide, and I'm going to snap this over to the left and snap this over to the right. Now I can copy this over to here, but there's a couple of ways to copy. So if I hold down my left mouse click and just simply drag, you'll see I have just a plus sign. You'll notice it added it, but it didn't add the design theme here. I'm going to do this one. Now if I do Control C, right click, copy, come over here and right click, I can do paste options. I can just use the destination theme, I can keep the source formatting, or I can just do picture. I'm going to keep the source formatting, and you'll notice that the design theme moved over to the new presentation. So slides can be copied between presentations, and they can keep the original design theme. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize this for now. Just go back to this one. Okay. There are a couple of different ways to view the different components, the different areas of PowerPoint. Here we have our thumbnail view. This is the main presentation. And then down here is our what we call speaker notes. And you'll notice where it says click to add notes. When you're adding notes down here, whatever you add down here will not be seen when you're playing your presentation. If you are doing this as an assignment for another class, if the instructor tells you to do a PowerPoint, you want to ask them, do you require speaker notes? And the speaker notes would go right here. By default, you do not see the speaker notes. You actually have to expand it in order to see it. So I have my arrow going up and down. I'm just going to hold down my left mouse click and adjust. And I'm going to leave that much there. And I can even adjust the size of my thumbnail to make it smaller or larger depending on what my needs are. Okay, the other views. I can go into view. Right now I'm in normal view. I can also go into outline view, slide sorter, notes page, reading, handout master, and notes master. So if I go into my outline view, you see I have my title into content, Here's my title. Let me go back into normal for just a minute. So I'm going to say bullet 1. This is a level 1 bullet A. Level 1 bullet B. Now you'll notice that I'm adding it to the main PowerPoint, but it's also being added here to my slide thumbnail view. Now if I go into my outline view, you'll see that my bullets are here. Now from here, if I click on enter, it's going to take me to my next bullet. Add the title into content. If I do Control Enter, it's going to take me to my next component. Now, if I did that here, if I clicked on Control Enter, it's going to take me to my next component. Again, Control Enter, it's going to take me to different components. If I do Tab, see what happens within it? It actually changes the bullet, or the level of bullet. So I'll do this here. So if I do a tab here, now this becomes a level 2 bullet. I can make this one a level 2 bullet as well. And just tab over. Now let's say I changed my mind, I don't need this to be a level 2 bullet. If I do Shift Tab, it brings it back. It promotes the bullet. Tab demotes, makes it a lower level bullet, whereas Shift Tab promotes the bullet, making it a higher level. Now the other views, let's go into slide sorter for a moment. In slide sorter we can hold down my left mouse click and drag this anywhere I want. I cannot change the contents of the individual slide. I can, however, change how it appears when it shows up. For example, I can go into transitions, and I can do morph, and I can do apply to all. And I can do that from my current view, from the slide sorter view. I can also duplicate a bullet or a slide from here. If I right click on it, I can do duplicate slide from here. So I can duplicate a slide from here, and I'm going to go back into my home, view, and I want to go back to normal view. And I can duplicate a slide from my normal view. Right click, duplicate slide. Alright, let me go back into my outline view for just a moment. When moving a slide in slide mode, it is possible to place the contents of what you're moving into the middle of another slide while you're in this. So I've just moved it to the middle of another slide. The default view when we first log in, when we first go into PowerPoint, is considered to be normal view. That's the default view. if I go into File, go into my Backstage view, click on Options, I can change that from this area. And we'll get into that later. So it is possible to change the default view that is displayed when a presentation is opened. Alright, here I have a bulleted list. Oops, let's go up to this one. Here I have a bulleted list. Currently it's on bullets. I'm going to select it. So now I have my main selection on. If I'm just here, this is basic edit mode, but now if I click on left click, so it's a solid line, I know it's kind of hard to see, but now I can make global changes to everything within this component. I can click on home and change my bullets to numbers or letters. I can do whatever I want from here. Now, let's say I want to change it to a different style completely, something a little bit more unique. I'm going to go into bullets and numbering, and I want to do a picture. If it comes up. I'm on my wireless, so this might be a little. And then insert. And now I've used custom bullets on here. Okay, so again, in PowerPoint 2013, by default, you do not see the notes pane. Okay, so here we have the title and two comments. Title and two contents. These are basically just placeholders. Even if I adjust the height of these placeholders, it's not going to adjust the font's size or style. Actually, it does. Let me back up. Changing the size of the placeholder will only adjust the font size, but not the style or the placement. It will not change any of the vertical alignment of the placeholder. Alright, now within this one particular placeholder, I have bulleted text. So let's say I want to select this one, and I want to select level 1 bullet C. Well, I can do that because within PowerPoint you can select non-adjacent text. You do that by clicking on your Shift key, holding left mouse click. Oops, let me try it again. Sorry, Control left click and then drag. So it's hold down your Control button and then your left mouse click to select non-adjacent text. Now, let's say I want to add a picture. Well, this would be a good time to go to Title and to Content. And I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do pictures. Well, I can go ahead and add a picture that I already have on my, sorry, these are all my grandchild. Documents, pictures. I don't have any pictures on here. But you can add a picture if you already have it available on your computer. You can also add pictures from your online content. So I'll do online picture. I'll just do a star. Alright, so now I've added my star. And this was not already saved on my hard drive. I actually went used online pictures. Alright, let's look at headers and footers. From here I can click on Insert, Header and Footer. So here I can do headers and footers on slides and on notes and handouts. It's going to be a separate header and footer. So say I do a date and time. I'm going to do slide number, footer for slide show. Then over here on notes and handouts, I want to do date and time, header for notes and handouts, footer for notes and handouts. And I can do slide. And I don't want this to be on the title slide, so I'm going to go ahead and click on there. And then apply to all. So here I have my footer, and this is just the style of the design that I have. The footer is showing up over here. If I go into my design and change my design style, you can see it's now here on the footer. It's not on here. Now if I want to go into view, I can go into my handout, my notes, notes page. This is what you're going to see on the notes or handout pages. Here is the footer for notes and handouts, header for notes and handouts, and there's the date, and then there's the page number. So you can specify, you're going to have a different header footer for your slide versus your header footer for your notes. Go back to normal view. Now let's say we set all this up and we want someone to be able to view this as a video. So they don't need to have PowerPoint in order to view it. Now if I go into File, first thing I'm going to do is Save. And I'm just going to do Browse, Desktop, Save, File, Export. So now I can create a video, or I can do a package presentation for CD. I'm just going to do create a video, and I'll do presentation quality, and I want it to use the record timings and narrations. So now it's going to say, all right, now I'm going to walk through, and this is what is going to happen when they play this. This is this particular slide. This is what you're going to see. Here's this next slide and what you'll see on this one. I can go here, make a note. Or I can circle. And again, this is all being recorded. And then next, and you'll see I have notes over here. Well, this would be any of the speaker notes I would have put in. But all they're going to see is what's in this viewer. And then next, 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 next. So now I can click on create video, and it's going to create an MP4 file, which can then be viewed by anyone with a computer, because MP4s are generally pretty universal and can actually be seen on, downloaded and watched on even mobile devices like your phone. And you'll see that it's still creating my PowerPoint from my MP4 file. Alright, now we've applied transitions. I know we've applied transitions because you can see these little stars on the left-hand side. I click on Home, go to Slide 2, and I want to click on Animations. And when you do that, you're going to see the preview because there's no animations just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and select this and split. Now I can preview this from here. I don't have to play the entire show just to play a preview of the transition. I can also click on here and it'll give me a preview as well. So there's more than one way to play transitions and animations. Slides can be copied from one presentation to another without losing their theme that they had in the original presentation. Slides can be reused and will inherit the theme of the current presentation. So for example, I can reuse this slide, basically copy it or duplicate it, and it's going to keep everything on here. Now when we create a chart, let me go ahead and create a chart here. Create a chart, and let's just do a very basic pie, do 3D, and then OK. And you'll see that it comes up with chart in Microsoft PowerPoint. 500 to 360, 250, 800. And you'll notice as soon as I updated these, it updated my chart down here. So to create charts, it uses chart in Microsoft PowerPoint to add this data. Now let's say we want to now let's say I want to copy slides that are next to each other. So if I click on the first one that I want to copy and do my shift click, it's going to copy all three. Now if I want to copy slides that are not next to each other, I can do my clicked on slide 2, control left click. Now if I go into view and go into slide sorter, basically does the same thing. I can left click, shift left click, it'll select all the slides that are next to each other. Or I can left click, control left click, and it can select slides that are not next to each other. Now if you go into reading view, reading view actually allows you to show two presentations simultaneously in separate windows, and it'll show full animation effects and full media support. Now I only have the one going. The other one doesn't have any effects yet. I just click on escape, and it takes me back to my original view. As far as alignments, go ahead and create a new slide for that. Home, new slide. There we go. And it's going to click on to add text. Get rid of the bullet. So here we have a left aligned, actually left and top aligned text. Of course I can go here and I can do center, go back. I can also go here and adjust my line spacing. I can also go here to align text and I can align it to the middle, the top, or the bottom of the placeholder. I can also change my text direction and make it stacked. Okay, go back up here. Alright, so here we have our bullets again. I'm just going to go ahead and click on enter. And you'll see that it created a new bullet. And you'll notice that the default orientation for each of these slides is landscape, whereas in Word, it's going to be portrait. Now, as far as printing options for this, if we can go into File, Print, you'll see you're going to automatically get a preview. I can do a full page slide, notes page, outline, 1 slide, 2 slides, 3 slides, 4 horizontal, 6 horizontal, 9 horizontal, 4 vertical, 6 vertical, or 9 vertical. Go back. Now the default slide aspect ratio previously in PowerPoint was considered to be standard. Now, however, it has changed. And if I go to Design, go over here to Slide Size. Here we have standard, but the default is widescreen. Now we can divide our slides into sections. I'll go ahead and just add a section here, and I will add a section here. Now the reason for this is that sections makes your PowerPoint presentation a little bit more manageable, keeps it well organized. I can title each of these sections, like say Chapter 1, Chapter 2, etc. And I can close out these sections while I'm working on just the active section. I can go to this one, oops, and I can just work on this one. It also helps you to section print only the individual sections you're working on, that's what you choose. And it handles slides as a group where you can move, delete, etc. as slides as an entire group instead of individual slides. After selecting a theme design, go back into theme design. Here's my design. You can also change variants. The variants you can change include colors, fonts, effects, and background styles. Now if I add go here, click on animation. Actually, I'll have to put this on animation instead. I'm going to set this up for the spin animation. So I'm going to click on here. And I should have a spin right here. And you'll notice that the spin goes clockwise. Now, if I want to change that, I can by simply going to Effect Options and changing it. I can also do quarter spin, half spin, full spin, or 2 spins. There are several new categories of transitions, actually one new category of transitions that was added. And it was actually added in here we have the groups. We have an entrance effects, separated by emphasis effects, separated by exit effects, separated by motion paths. Go back to animation. I'll click on this guy, open up my gallery again. And you can see we have several out here. Do more entrance, more emphasis. So there's several that are on here that are available. The exciting, or the curtains, was one of the new choices that was added in PowerPoint 2013. As far as things that you can add from the placeholder, again, you can add a table, you can add a chart, you can add smart art graphics, pictures, online pictures, or even insert video. Okay, that is the end.